Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another edition of Top 5 Best PC Game Deals of the Week. Been doing this a little bit later in the week than I would like to, but as I've always been saying, better late than never, and the timing actually works out really well because Newegg just launched an awesome sale on some games. Unfortunately, they are physical versions of games, which might turn some people off. You'll get some pretty incredible deals, and then I also have some deals from some other e-tailers. Those are download right away. You won't have to wait for them to be shipped to your house. So that is a little bit of a benefit. Let's go over the Newegg sale real quick. They did this recently before as well. They're knocking off 50% off a lot of physical titles. So number 5, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is $19.99, and with that 50% off promo code, you end up getting the game for $9.99. And Assassin's Creed Syndicate is one of those Assassin's Creed titles that I feel is criminally underrated, and it's easy to see why it just bombed from a commercial standpoint. It was the Assassin's Creed game that followed the release of Assassin's Creed Unity, the worst Assassin's Creed game without a doubt. That game was a technical disaster, and then 2015 came around, AC Syndicate was released, and it was a really good game. It wasn't perfect on PC in terms of the PC version, but miles ahead of AC Unity. And what Assassin's Creed Syndicate does have is a great story, two really likable main characters. They're twins, and they play really well off one another. Gameplay is your typical Assassin's Creed fare prior to AC Origins, but traversal is made easier. You have like a grappling hook, and that makes traveling the world a lot more fun, and the world in AC Syndicate is absolutely huge. So if you're a fan of the older AC titles, and you never gave AC Syndicate a shot, I would highly recommend you to do so. It's a really good game, and for $9.99, that's a great price for it. It still kind of held up its value, so at $9.99, it's not a bad pickup. Also, as a part of the Newegg sale, gonna put these games two together. They're Bethesda published games that have been going on sale all the time. However, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, it's listed at $39.99. With that 50% off promo code, you end up getting it for $19.99. I believe that's a new low for Wolfenstein 2 on PC. And Wolfenstein 2 is a game that seems to have a really mixed reception on PC. That surprises me a little bit. It runs very well, and personally, I think the game is a lot of fun. Yes, it does get a little bit zany and a little bit off the wall towards the latter half of the game, but that's kind of what you expect out of Wolfenstein, and the gameplay itself is so visceral, so enjoyable, that I still think the game is absolutely worth it. And at this price, $19.99, that's a third of the price that it originally launched for, and considering it released, what, 6 months ago? Man, I would be kicking yourself if you're paying $60 for a game. 6 months later, you can pick them up for $19.99. That is pretty ridiculous. Kind of goes to show why a lot of gamers are foregoing buying games at launch in 2018, but hey, Wolfenstein 2 for $20, can't go wrong with that. Evil Within 2 is also listed at $39.99. You can get it for $20. I've seen Evil Within 2 a couple of times for $20, but that's still an amazing deal. It seems like the general consensus with the Evil Within 2 is that it is a great game. Doesn't have that mixed reception that Wolfenstein 2 has going on for it. And the Evil Within 2 is also an excellent survival horror game. They just added a first-person mode to it as well. So Bethesda and Tango Gameworks, good job on that. You can jump right into the Evil Within 2 without playing the first game, and in my opinion, Evil Within 2 is a far better game. Looks really good on PC. A little bit more difficult to run, but if you have a decent rig, it won't be too bad, especially if you're playing at like 1080p. So $20 for that, really good. Wolfenstein 2, $20, that's really good as well. Now let's move on to your typical deals on various e-tailers. First up, a deal over on Steam, Hyper Light Drifter, 60% off down to $7.99. Still kind of expensive for Hyper Light Drifter. This game released back in March of 2016, but man, right away when you look at Hyper Light Drifter, while it's not the technical juggernaut maybe a lot of PC games are known for, how can you not be captivated by the art style in the game? It is just a gorgeous game to look at. A little bit on the harder side, but if you're a fan of old school titles on, say, Super Nintendo, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this. Some great RPG elements, and it's got a decent bit of content to it as well. $7.99 ain't bad. You can pick up the Hyper Light Drifter Soundtrack Edition for $9.99. Either way, it's a great game, and I would highly recommend it. It has been a part of, I believe, like Humble Monthly in the past, so unfortunately, if you did miss out on that and you're buying it now, kind of a bummer, but still, $7.99 for this game is definitely worth it. Over on Chrono GG, they've got this deal for another 22 hours as of recording this video. The Surge Complete Edition is down 50% off to $25. Very expensive from the PC side of things. $25 is a hard sell for a lot of people, and I understand that. But the Surge Complete Edition is quite good. Now, if you don't know what the Surge is, it was a game developed by Deck 13, the guys that also did Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen was a game that was compared heavily to the Souls titles. The Surge, very similar, but it's got a very cool sci-fi setting. With the Surge Complete Edition, it's content that is very relevant to the overall experience of the game, so that's why I wanted to put this on the list. even though base copies of the Surge have been down to I think $18 or $19. This is the complete edition. You get everything, and $25, yes, a bit steep of a price, but I would say it's worth it. If you played Souls, if you played Lords of the Fallen, you enjoyed that. I think Deck 13 did a way better job with the Surge than they did with Lords of the Fallen, and Lords of the Fallen had a lot of issues on PC. Surge isn't absolutely perfect, but a solid game nonetheless. And finally, I did want to give a shout to probably my favorite strategy game on PC. You guys probably know where I'm going with this if you've been following the channel. Company of Heroes 2 is 66% off for $6.79. If you guys know me, you know that I'm not a big fan of strategy games. I still like to give them the recognition they deserve, because while I'm not a big fan of the genre, I know a lot of you guys are. But how about a strategy game I even got super into, and that was Company of Heroes 2. I love this game's single player mode. While I didn't go too far into the multiplayer side of things, I had a blast with the single player. It's got a pretty solid story, and visually, I think this game is gorgeous. I played it around the time that it came out, so obviously aging is a factor, but even to this day, I played it about a year ago, and I thought it looked really good. Now, I do have to mention that Company of Heroes 2 is a game that e-tailers have given out absolutely free, but obviously it's not free right now, so $6.79, solid price for a really good strategy game. Even if you're like me and you're not a big fan of strategy games, I think Company of Heroes 2 is a game that is gripping to those of you that are like me as well. Like I said, I was a big fan of it, and I'm typically not a fan of the genre. So that's gonna conclude this video, guys. Some great deals this week. That Newegg sale is really solid. Wolfenstein 2 for $20, Evil Within 2 for $20. That is awesome. Hyper Light Drifter $7.99 might be a little steep to some of you guys, but it's a great game, and I love that art style. Can't go wrong with that. The Surge Complete Edition, $25 again. That is really steep. That's the most expensive game this week that I mentioned, but it is the Complete Edition, and again, with this game, the Complete Edition is very significant. And Company of Heroes 2, $6.79, pretty good deal as well. That's gonna conclude this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below if you're picking any of these up, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.